Welcome back to another episode of the DJ Chit Chat, episode number 3. I said I would do the DJ Chit Chats, and here we are again. I have my boy DJ Keo with me. What's going on, Keo?
What's good, man? Good. I'm chilling. We're in a new future right now.
Oh, I mean, will robots ever replace a DJ? Not yet.
I don't know. Not right now.
Not yet.
Too soon.
Yeah, listen, man. I brought DJ Keo on because we are going to chat about the latest and greatest Traktor Pro 4. I mean, this is an update. The day it was released, I installed it. You installed it. And we've had some time to play with it. Everyone's been reviewing it. This is not really a review, but talk about its use case and everything else and our experience with it thus far. Traktor Pro 3 has been out for 6 years, right? Without an update, without an upgrade to the next version.
Yeah, a main update, yeah.
Right, exactly, right?
Years. And it's been a minute.
Right, and NI has just been pushing updates and making it completely stable. For the most part, it's a stable software, correct? 3.
Yeah. Because it's been I've been using it on Windows computer for a long time, and I bought when the M1 came out, I bought a MacBook Pro, and so I switched over to Mac Life right after that, and so I've been using Traktor on the Mac Life. But before that, it was on Windows only, and I've never had a crash. I never had a problem where I was like, oh my god, this Windows computer, it's been solid for years, just flat out years, no issues at all.
Right.
And it's been steady for me for so long that I never even thought about crashing or worried about what's going to happen to my computer. With updates and everything, I never thought twice about it. That's how steady it's been.
And the updates, they made pretty good updates. Again, updates stabilizing the software, just making everything tight, and adding some additions there, right?
It's decent updates. They added features and stuff like that, but there's a couple things that Traktor users have been wanting for years, and that's been the elastic beat grids and software driven stems rather than you need to buy a song.
Yeah,
that concept. Because Traktor had stems for a long time before anybody even knew what stems were.
Yeah.
And then they got lapped by everybody. So it's funny. The company who kind of created this thing, they were at the forefront. I wouldn't say they created it by themselves, but they were at the forefront of stems before anybody else even thought about it. And then you get lapped by everybody for a long time, and without any kind of you're not even looking into it. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Right. I was totally not into the stems, which is why they created the S5, the S8, the D2.
Yeah. They did. There's a whole line of gear.
It's amazing, kind of, right?
For this thing.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, right? Because if you really think about it, they were definitely ahead of their times when it came to stems. Obviously, there were programs and recording studios that had the ability to separate, specific sounds and things like that from songs. You know what I'm saying? But on the DJ level, it was I think it was kind of tracked. I don't know if Virtual DJ was in that space already. They've been sort of, bubbling for a long time.
It was this was specifically to Traktor, as far as I know. I could, we definitely could be wrong, but as far as I know, Traktor kind of invented the momentum for the stems thing as it was.
Okay. So now we have Traktor 4, and dude, I've been playing around with this, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? The changes are so weird. I've gotten back, before we even get to that, I've gotten back into playing with Traktor because Rekordbox did the okie doke. I'm always here saying how companies are doing the okie doke.
How do you not see this coming?
Just
I told everybody.
That's the okie doke. It's just really? I mean, dude, listen. Around the time when Rekordbox was first released, I had a pro version. This is a grandfathered version. I can't even use that anymore.
Yeah, you can't use it.
I can't even use that anymore. It's just but you gave it to me. It's a pro version. So I'm still on 6.7. I'm not paying for that. That's ridiculous. And then Serato's probably going in that area. Serato just isn't real tight for me in terms of the style of, DJing I am, I do, it's not tight, you know what I'm saying?
See, this it's a market leader, but it needs work, and no
Yeah,
one wants to admit that, and that's the problem for them. So when they got sold, I was like, maybe they'll fix some things, but who
yeah.
knows? But
Well,
they
that's
need to fix some
yeah,
things.
that's not that was denied, blocked, So no, really, it's just like Comcom was like, no, we can't do this, So this is crazy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
We don't know. We'll see. We'll
but
see.
we have a Tractor 4, and because Tractor 3 was so like tight and stable, it was not a
Mm,
lot they had to do here. It was just really just software. It is software. I mean, and they only have 4 new things, right? They have the stem separation, the
mm.
drum patterns, and then flexible beat grids and the ozone maximizer. I thought
Yeah,
that was pretty cool with the maximizer. If
yeah. The
people know about
maximizer is
that,
pretty cool. I
you
do
know,
use that.
yeah,
I
you
That's
know
the
what I'm
first thing I
saying.
set up before I
Yeah.
started.
So here we are with Tractor Pro 4. I was playing around with it. Let me just give everyone a really quick story. I wanted an S8. I was like, I feel like I need an S8 for this software. Just for
Yeah.
my style of music. I was like, I need an S8, right? So I've been looking for one for about a month, and I
Hmm.
checked one day, and there was one available used at Guitar Center, and it was the Guitar Center like about right up the road, as in like about 20 miles up the road, right? And I was like, I
Hmm.
went up there. The joint was clean. I copped it. They wanted $750 for it. I bought it for
Hmm.
$450. Brought it
That's a
home.
deal.
It's a deal. The joint was super clean. I mean, all the I/O works. Everything is just butter. And
Hmm.
I hooked it up and started playing with the Tractor, with the Pro 4. The Tractor Pro 4 software. And wow, you know. Here's the interesting.
It was good.
Here's
It
the
was good.
interesting thing that's crazy about it, right? Tractor
Hmm.
knew, like Native Instruments, they knew what they had in Tractor Pro 4 with adding the stem separation, and they already had the remix decks, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, so we know who this is for, right?
Hmm.
And so if you know who it's for, why not give us the tools to actually use it fully, right? And the S8 is that. I'm here to tell everyone the S8
Yes.
and Tractor Pro 4 is the perfect combination. Forget about it. There is nothing else.
Imagine you created the perfect thing, and then you went back in time and it came out too soon. Like that's basically what happened.
Dude.
You had this ingenious idea. You made this controller that's like it's nice. It's built. The screens are great. Everything looks good. It's got the wheels. It doesn't have jog wheels, which is the big mistake they made because
Oh,
everybody was upset
you
about
think
that.
it was a
I
mistake?
get that in a second.
Okay.
I get that. They
Mm-hmm.
had everything else was perfect on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they just came out too soon. Had they released the S8 today, a lot of people would be like,
Mm.
"Oh, this is genius. It doesn't need jog wheels. We don't need jog
Dude,
wheels.
off the shelf. Off the shelf.
Off the shelf." People would be like, "Oh, this is genius," but they came out too soon. They got a couple years too early. People weren't ready for it, and a lot of people were like, "I can't DJ with this because there's no jog wheels," and so
Yo.
it sat there on the shelves as a colossal failure. And
But
it's infuriating to me because
mhm,
you had these great ideas and you're just too soon. You're just too innovative. I
mhm.
guess that's the problem. You're too smart. I don't know. It's a
Hmm.
shame. It's a shame this thing got wasted because it was so good.
They with the D2 as well. The S5 is sort of a baby version of the S8 without the faders for the remix decks or the stem controls.
Hmm.
It's really, like I said, the best controller to use. I was like, I used this live, so I was just like, I tested home first, and then I took it out
Yeah.
live, and I was like, and I was telling Keo offline, I was like, dude, I had generated stems for 50 tracks, and I did a 1 hour
Hmm.
set on it, and I did not use the original track for an hour. I was just using stems, mixing in stems, craziness, effects on the stems, effects on the
Yeah, it makes
stems.
you want to be creative. The
Yo,
way they did
dude,
it, it does make you want to be creative
it's a
for sure.
creative, like, I mean, you have a software that you update it, and it's even more creative. Is any other DJ software doing the stem separation like Tractor?
I don't think so because everybody else is still doing it. Their version is live.
Yeah.
and some
Real
stem
time.
separation is garbage, and
Yeah.
some of it's okay, it's passable. But Traktor, I think, is the only one that is making you save it the way they do
Yeah.
and making this giant file.
Mhm.
And it's a plus and a minus because we talked about this before. Right after we saw the preview, we were talking about this, and
Mhm.
I was like, it's a plus and a minus. There's good things to it and there's bad things to it. Like, it would be great for file size to just do it live. That would be great for file size. But this version sounds better. And this version, I feel like it runs better in the software this way. But a lot of people who would never, like, if you're not going to sit down and generate the songs yourself, you're never going to use this stuff. And so it's like a wasted feature because of what it's requiring of you. You gotta put a ton of space on your computer. You need a bunch of crap on your computer.
I mean, for real.
It's just straight up. Like, you can't, if you don't have the space, it's not gonna work. You just forget about it. Like, it's not gonna work. So, like, it's a huge commitment. And I don't know. Some people are like, okay, this is great. Like, I don't have the space for it on my computer. My computer is done. I think I got like 20 gigs. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. I got videos I need to edit on there.
On a Mac, yo?
Yeah.
On a Mac
laptop?
My
MacBook Pro is full. It is to the brim right now. I got 20 gigs free.
When I was texting you, I was like, yo, the file sizes, that can eat up some of your hard drive space. And then about an hour later, I got this message that said hard drive almost full, right? And I was like, and I said, this can't be it, because I've only generated stems for like maybe 12 tracks at that time, right? And I was like, this can't be it. I was like, no, wait, I have to see what's going on. So I was just like checking everything out. And I use Final Cut Pro, and they do these rendered files, man, and that joint just eats up all of your space,
Yeah, it chews up all your space.
So it was that, so I ended up deleting like maybe 400 gigs of like rendered files.
That's right? That's sad, man.
So, but another glitch that happened to me was, at this point, I'm loving the, generated stems, and I'm just like, this is crazy, and I'm going to like start messing with remix decks as well. So I have a folder that had about like 150 like deep house tracks. And I was like, I want to, generate all the stems for that. So I was like, you can't generate multiple stems at once. You can you select one and then you generate it, select the other one.
They were talking about this in the preview. But yeah,
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Like in a video, we were on the video call and it was just like, oh yeah, the Zoom joint, it's like people were like, oh, well, I wish you did this. I was like, dude, be happy with what they're giving you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those dudes are salty. I'm just going to say it. This is the problem. They're not wrong, but they're salty about it. It was not necessary. Because it's not for that. This is not for that. It's just like, hey, this was happening. Okay, you can cry about this later. This is what we're doing right now.
But it's cool for a company to do that and just accept that criticism and maybe take it back and do something differently. You know what I'm saying? So that was really cool.
I think they will do something too, though. That's the thing. I do think they will do something.
Yeah, so I was the other thing. So I was separating these tracks, right, and then all of a sudden it just like crashed, not responding. I was just like, that happened twice to me, right? So I'm just like, But again, I couldn't. I wanted to do batch, generate stems.
That needs to be the next thing. It should be a separate program that runs without the full track. You don't need full track there. The separate thing pops up, generates the stems for you in the background, and you can go to sleep or you go do something else and come back.
Okay, so basically, don't even open up Traktor. Open up this stem generator.
Yes.
Right?
A stem generator splits the songs together or creates the 4 stems you need, puts it in one package, moves on to the next song. That's what they need to do.
Wow, that actually is a good idea right there, because like you said, it's using its own, it's not using Traktor's processing and all that other stuff. That's pretty cool.
This stuff is in the background.
Have you ran into any sort of issues with Traktor Pro 4?
Actually, no. I haven't had any bugs pop up, but to be fair though, I haven't really used any of the major the major new features. I haven't really delved deep into it, especially on a gig. I've used I think I used Traktor for a wedding and another a couple gigs. So
Mm,
between the from Thursday up until Sunday, and then Sunday night I did a rooftop thing, and I forgot I used Tractor 3 by accident,
mm,
and so yeah, so like I haven't really had like a heavy usage case to be like, oh, there's bugs here or there's not bugs here. But like the first day I got it, I used it that night at a thing, and so I've used it a few times. I've used it maybe 4 or 5 times between Thursday and Sunday, but I haven't had any issues with it so far, at least that I can see.
yeah.
But it's run smooth. I haven't had any complaints either. But again, I haven't used any of the major features yet. Like
Mm.
actually use them yet. Like I played it around with it a little bit, so like, okay, that's how it works. Okay, cool. But not actual used it yet. So for me, it's still open. I don't know. I'm gonna find out this week because I'm gonna use it only this week, and we're gonna see.
Okay. I think as a if you're doing like hip hop or open format and you have like a an S4,
Hmm.
I mean there's some layers going on that just like triggering things, slightly differently. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you do have jogs, so if you were doing like a hip hop set, I was just thinking about that as you was talking in my head. I was like, oh, you could probably freak out a real dope hip hop set using the stems.
Mhm.
So I use the S8 and I have the S4 MK3 and I also have the X1 MK3. So I'm gonna now
Mhm.
try the Pro 4 with those devices and see what's up. I think I'm gonna have just as much fun as like just
Mhm.
running hip hop on like the S4 and seeing what that's all about.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hmm.
think so for sure.
Yeah.
Especially like certain songs where you could just drop out the beat, or you make it an
Mm.
instrumental or whatever. Like there's a lot of stuff you could do as far as remix goes,
Oh my
where
goodness,
you could have
dude.
some really fun.
Yeah, really. So on the dance tip, you kind of
Mhm.
setting your setup, before you go live. So you're breaking up
Yeah,
all
yeah,
your
yeah. You gotta do
stems.
some advance. Or
Right.
for I think for rap, for hip hop stuff or open format,
It's on the
if
fly.
it's
You
like
could do
top
it.
40 or pop, like I would
Yeah.
be more open to just screwing around with things
Yeah.
and making a remix out of something alive and just see
Hmm.
what it sounds like, just to do it. Because I get it, for me, that's not a big deal, especially if it's a short song. I'm only gonna play like a minute of it and then flip over to something else. That's not a big deal. Like you're not focused to the song, and everyone's looking at you for 3 minutes. Like, what the hell is this? Like you could fool around, pop something in and out, whatever. It's not that big a deal. And yeah, yeah. That for me, like it's more open. I would think I have more incentive to act the fool and then just play around and do stuff like that,
Yeah.
especially like it's a rooftop party or like a boat cruise or something like that. I'll just
Mhm.
have fun just because.
So, I was talking earlier about like the 6 years of Tractor Pro 3 and how that was
Mhm.
a pretty stable software for the most part, right?
That's too long to not have an update, man. That's infuriating.
Even though it was 6 years, again, the updates that they provided for 3, I mean, it was really tight, and they just made the software
Mhm.
tight. I mean, that's a kind of a testament for a software company to have a software not updated for 6 years. It's like, wow. Generally, people leave a company who hasn't updated, but they went to the
Tractor
major
users are just
version.
used to it,
Right,
man.
but as I was using 3, I was like, "Oh, this is way tighter." To me, I thought it was way tighter than Record
Mhm.
Box and definitely Serato.
Mhm.
DJ Pro, it's I say this all the time, like DJ Pro, it's tight, but it's maybe too tight. Like I
Mhm.
said, it's rigid. It's a little rigid in a good way, but it's just too tight. It's not I like some silliness in the software, not crazy, right? But
Mhm.
just give
Yeah,
me a
yeah.
little bit of silliness, not a lot of stuff going on. But DJ Pro was like it's too tight. But okay, so we have 4, and I'm thinking like, okay, I see some glitches or at least some issues in Tractor Pro. This is the first release, right, of 4,
Mhm.
right? So I'm like, I'm not angry or anything like that. I'm not gonna like, start like, throwing pitchforks or anything like that. But I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
you know what? I know the updates are coming, so I'm just like, wow. This is what I'm seeing now, and I'm just like, once the updates come, I'm like, it's gonna get
Yeah, yeah.
really tight,
I
right?
I will say this, like, it feels like the company's done a shift, and they're prepared to release things in a timely manner now.
Hmm.
And I mean, if they release hardware too on a timely manner, we got a whole other ball game. But like, at least for software, I expect frequent updates, which they have been doing for 3 for the last couple years. 3 has been getting regularly updates every
Yep,
couple months, and
that's
they've
true.
been good updates.
Hmm.
Stuff that's required to get you up into the future, or at least keep you on par. So they have been doing stuff,
Yeah.
and I think that now it's going to be more focused and bigger updates because they've done groundwork already, and they're it's I think it's on par with everybody else. I definitely think it's on par.
Oh,
I
really?
don't I don't think there's anything that's missing that you're like, oh man, I can't use Traktor because it doesn't have this or whatever. Like as far as 4.0 goes, all of the major things that you need are there right now. So I think it's fine. I gotta be honest. I think it's good.
I think like with 4, like I said, this is just like the first. This is 4, the first version, right? So now we're gonna have all these other updates. That's gonna make it, it's gonna tighten things up a little bit, right? But I think as
Mm-hmm.
a, just an upgrade to, this is a version upgrade. This is pretty good, right? As a first start,
Yeah,
it's a pretty good
yeah.
first start. So I think that again, I'm okay with this first start. However, now I want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about what is it that this software is lacking, which is
You
that's
make
the
me
big
choke right
elephant in
now.
the room. That's the big elephant in the room, And
Mm-hmm.
it's weird because I'm checking out this software, and like I said, I feel that the software is really created for like dance music DJs. You know,
Yes,
where you got things synced
it's
up
better
and you're
for
just
them for
rocking
sure.
out. You're rocking out with the stem controls, the remix decks, the effects,
Mm-hmm.
everything else, the sends, the whole nine. I mean, like, yo, listen, the S8 has like all these other things you can connect to it as well. Like you can connect like a couple like X1s to it and just do things differently that way. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
but again, we know that the software is going to be really good, like because of the updates coming. But with the hardware, what do you think about the hardware? I mean, was that a golden opportunity missed or what?
Well, yeah, I think that they should have released hardware with the software
Hmm.
because the hype would have been a lot different. Because like it just came out, only Tractor users cared. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Everybody else was like, and what? I don't care. Like it's not a big deal for me. Had they released hardware, I think people would have given a second look, or at least glanced over, like, oh, what's going on over here? I think that was a wasted opportunity for them. But here's the thing, right? You gotta solidify this thing so Tractor users are like, let's stay on board.
yeah.
Because they're right now, there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know. I have so many emails and texts and stuff from people that are asking like, hey, what do you think about this? When are you gonna drop this video? What do you think about this? And a lot of them were like, I'm on my last leg. I'm ready to leave right now. And then this thing came out, and so they're like, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. But like they want something. They want to know that the company's still gonna be there and release some gear, or like they're still committed to like keeping this thing running. Because I think that's a huge fear for a lot of people is that, you know, I pay this money to get this thing and then they cancel it tomorrow. Like they're worried about that, and it's a good fear to have. Like it's something that's fair that some people should be annoyed about. I don't think that like they've been good with the roadmap as of late, and it's something I complained about for years. They finally they put our roadmap and they tell you what they're working on and what's coming in the next update, which I think is good. But there's a lot of people that just like they want new gear, they want to know the company's fully behind it, and it's hard to tell. I'll be honest, it is absolutely hard to tell if this company really cares or not.
Well, here's the other thing, right? So the S8 came out in 2010, right? So again, I'm talking about software like with Traktor Pro 3
You
that
got to
was
think
like
of how long ago that was.
6 years
2010 is a
ago, right?
long time ago.
Right. But you're also dealing with like Traktor Pro 3, which came out in 2018, right? And
Mm-hmm.
6 years is still tight, right? And so now you have the S8 and also the D2 and the S5, which came out like 2010, 2011, something like that, right? And dude, I'm using a 2010 controller by Native Instruments, plugged it in, And it was just like,
That feels fresh.
hello,
It
how are
feels
you? I
fresh.
missed you, right? Dude, it was like, hello,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
missed you. And I was like, do I have to like,
That's,
firmware update or anything? So when I
nope.
did that, I was like, when I did that, I said, wow, I'm like, what sort of chips are in here, right? What's going on here? That like, think about it. You think you can take like,
It's
you can't even
that
use
old. Yeah.
the DDJ SZ on Record Box 7, their own controller.
It's a whole other topic right there.
Right? I used the 2010 SA clean. I bought it used, plugged it into the Traktor Pro 4 software. Everything lit up. It was just like, yo, what do you want to do? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
started like touching buttons. I'm just like, wait a minute. And like I said, like just using the software, I never used the S8 before, but just seeing what I'm seeing on the screen and looking at the actual controller, I'm like, okay, this is like some muscle memory stuff here. All right. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jog wheels, I'm okay with that. Sync, all that other stuff. Quantize. You can change master tempo, all that sort of stuff. You're not really, they call it an all-in-one system. Not a standalone, but an all-in-one.
Yeah. It's not standalone.
Right, all-in-one.
They should make a tractor that's standalone.
I don't, that'll never happen. I don't think the right
Oh,
now.
it's not gonna happen ever.
Yeah,
It's ever.
yeah.
Never
I don't know if they have the like the manpower to actually put that into a device. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I once I plugged up the S8, dude, I put the MacBook Pro off to the side, and dude, for like again, I'm DJing for like.
You can see everything on the controller. You don't really need the.
It's right there. I'm like, yo, it was right here. I'm like, okay, like everything is here, right? So I'm like, wow, that's the perfect device. Again, a 2010 device. This may be the turning point for me. Not even the software, right?
Yeah.
Even
the
though
hardware is robust,
right,
and designed to last for decades.
Yeah,
absolutely, no question about that.
Yeah, so that's like, again, just how that took that 2010 device, plugged it into a brand new software, at least an updated version.
As advertised.
Right, exactly. And it just boom. And I'm just like, wow, what sort of chips they have in here? What's the technology? What does the board look like? Everything else. I'm like, this is pretty amazing, right? So they have that muscle memory and that technology already like on file to create a device like that. I would go even a step further. Check this out. I would get rid of the crossfader on the joint. The joint has a crossfader. Why? That's silly.
Yeah, I don't disagree, because we don't need a crossfader because you don't have jog wheels. Like it's kind of unnecessary.
Exactly.
But I think that was probably a bridge too far for too many people. They're like, oh hell no, not on my watch.
You know what? Not today, because like it's all about like a hybrid DJ setup, right? So people are using these devices and everything else.
What's not the jog wheel? Like what's a rotary mixer? You could have done that with the Traktor, and I think people would have been like, oh, this is far out right now. A rotary S8. Think about that.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was about to say. We're on the same page. Like, get rid of the crossfader. Yeah. I would do it like the DB4, the Zone DB4. Get rid of the crossfader, even though the Zone has a crossfader. But get rid of the crossfader. Make the throws on the channel a little longer, right? And then put knobs above that. And then have a way that you can like, use knobs to go rotary, or, you can use line faders, whatever, right? And I'm just like, that would be pretty dope, right? Or you can put something else there, another screen or something. Yeah, Do you think that they're going to come out with, we were there on a Zoom call. Are they going to come out with something anytime soon?
Hardware?
Yeah.
Probably the end of the year, maybe. They might release something. I think soon. But not yet. It's not for a while. No, if there's gonna be an update, it's gonna be an update to the S4. And so but I don't think it's gonna be now. Probably like the end of this year, beginning of next year, they're gonna release something.
I think we need an S8. We need probably a bigger, S4. Give me like a.
If it was bigger, I wouldn't be mad at it. For sure, I wouldn't be mad at it.
So you're okay with like the smaller jog wheels, huh? Okay.
I've
Let me
adjusted
see.
to them. I'm not. I wouldn't say I hate them. I would if they had bigger jog wheels, I would welcome them. But if they kept them the same size, but they made the controller bigger and added more screen size and stuff like that, I'll be happier with that too. I would
Okay.
probably be more happier with a bigger controller, a larger screen size, but kept the jog wheels the same size. I'd
Right.
probably be okay with that.
Okay. I was just
Because
looking
the
at the
jog wheels on the
F1.
tractor thing are good. They're
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
they're really are those mechanical kind of or
Yeah, because it's
Mhm.
got the rotary engine is in it
Yeah.
for the S4. Like those are motorized,
Yeah.
and it's solid. It feels good.
Yeah, it
So
does. Hmm.
if you could say you got rid of the motorized part and you added bigger screens, I would welcome that in a heartbeat. I'm like, that's the perfect thing for me because
Hmm.
I don't use the motorized stuff. I turn that off instantly. I always turn it off.
Wow.
So that would be the perfect controller for the S4. That absolutely would be a perfect controller. I'll be happy with that.
Now you were talking about maybe looking at some D2s. I mean, we're talking about used gear here with the S5, the S8,
That's
and
how
the
crazy.
D2s.
I had a
You
chance to
know,
buy them for cheaper back in the day, and I didn't buy it. I should have.
right?
I should have just done bite the bullet and got them.
Yeah, it's so weird because when they came out, even with the S8, I didn't quite understand it because I don't know. I think I
Mm-hmm.
was still a foot with turntables, a foot in turntables, and a foot in digital, so I really wasn't sure.
Yeah,
And yeah, so but the D8 looks really cool. I'm sorry, the D2 looks pretty cool. They have the legs you can stand up to make it higher, or at least the same height as
yeah, to make it fit
the
the
mixer.
size of
Right,
the
exactly.
proper controller or whatever.
Exactly,
Which is
so
smart. That's smart.
yeah. So they didn't do that with the S8 though, which would have been smarter, because well, maybe not because I don't know, but I think so we have a new X1. We already have that. They're probably going to come out with an F1. And who knows, man? If they drop like an S8, because they really, do you think they can drop like an S4 update? Because this is really the newest S4. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because it was the X1 update. I think they're gonna do something new design language.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's gonna be in that color scheme and that
Mm-hmm.
style of what the X1 is, which is fine. That's totally
Mm-hmm.
fine. Like I'll probably buy it. I don't need it, but I'll probably buy it. But I'm okay with the update in that design language. Like the X1 looks nice. The new X1, it looks nice. It's interesting.
Yeah, people were complaining about that, but I was like, well, you can turn the lights off. You don't have to keep them on.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
It's optional. All these things are
Yeah.
optional. You don't need
Exactly,
it.
What about again, I was talking about the S4 MK3 that's out now. That's the newest version of like the S4. You think they will update that? And if they are, what do you think
Yeah,
may
no,
happen
it's gonna
differently
be
with it?
the X1. It's gonna be in that design language for sure.
Really?
If they're gonna do an update, it's gonna be an S4
With
and
lights
it's
on the
gonna be in
bottom of that
design.
joint.
I don't know if they're gonna put lights on the bottom, but like
Mhm.
that design language, the style of how it looks, like
Mhm.
how modern that looks, I think it's gonna be like that. The
Okay.
color scheme and the jog, with that jogs, with the buttons and all that stuff, it's gonna be
Right.
the same.
Okay.
At least
Maybe
in that
even
style.
maybe even update like the F1 as well. I think that if you're gonna do that, you're gonna okay, that's gonna work with the open format DJs, the hip hop DJs. If you do an F1, that's gonna help with both hip hop, open format, dance DJs. But then if you drop like an S8 or something like that, that's gonna help like the dance DJs. You can hit it out the park with release and everything. And again, you already have the design language. It's in a file somewhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you can just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's already done. They just didn't release it yet.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're all done already. They're just waiting.
I hope so, man. But I was super impressed with like buying a device that came out in 2010, plugging it into their software, and it just worked.
That's 14 years ago, man.
Dude, think
And
about
it works
that.
the same as the came
Think
out
about
yesterday.
that. I mean, that's pretty amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, it came out today for 4 specifically. I'm just like,
No,
wow,
most
this is
controllers
crazy.
that are 14 years old don't work with anything that's out right now. It
Dude.
does not work.
I have a audio interfaces that are like 15 years old. I can't even plug them up.
Yeah, as I'm saying, most things that they're that old do not work with current software, especially like with Rekordbox. Anything that old does not work with Rekordbox at all.
Yeah. So we are talking about Traktor Pro 4. This was a new release by Native Instruments. I really like what I'm feeling right now, what I'm seeing right now. I was able to use it live. Kia was able to use it live. I had some issues. There was some bugginess, right? But I'm okay with that because, again, this is just the first version update.
It's a 4.0.
Right. It's 4.0. a 4.0. We're waiting for the 4.0.0.1 update coming pretty soon, right? It's just like, oh, it's right here, you know?
It's going to be soon. I give it a couple weeks, maybe a month, and that one's going to be out.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so and those updates are pretty cool. You know, you just go into native access and it's pretty simple. It's pretty quick. It's pretty fast. I think
it's improved. Native access has improved considerably from where it was before.
Exactly. Yeah. Really, yes, so much, man. Because before it was almost like Skeletor. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, wait a minute, am I doing something wrong here? But we need hardware. Yeah. I think hardware would have been great if you had some hardware, you know, along with the latest and greatest version of Traktor Pro. But
I agree.
You know, I was able to play with Traktor Pro 4 with the S8, which was completely amazing. Kia, when you did Traktor Pro 4, you used the S4?
Yeah. I've been using the S4 only.
Okay. All right. So, and it was pretty tight. You know, it was just like, okay, this is just
it was fine. It was totally fine.
Yeah, so I mean, waiting for the updates. This should be pretty cool. I like what's going on here. It's bringing me back to Traktor because I'm not on Rekordbox anymore, and I'm really not on Serato anymore. I mean, again, you know, you have Traktor Pro 3, 6 years, the S8, 14 years, Traktor Pro 4, not even 2 weeks old. Right, exactly. So I like what's going on here. I'm back into Traktor, and you know, I hope we don't have any disappointments like I thought we had previously. So we will see about that. Fair. Traktor Pro 4, you know, go check it out if you're a user, update it, and give it a try. It's pretty tight. And the other thing is you can, you know, I have 3 as well. So even if 4 is screwed up, it's like I can still go back to 3.
You're not forced to use it only. Like you
right,
can go back
exactly.
To 3 if you
exactly, man. So thanks for checking out another episode of the DJ Chit Chat. I will be back with another episode. I'm not quite sure when, but I will. Until next time, peace.